Hello everybody, welcome to Awesome Rusty Bucket. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already and drop a like on this video. I'm trying to hit 100k subscribers and we're like 4 something away from it now, so your subscription would seriously be much appreciated. So the Bulls just played the Miami Heat. I just did a video talking about the Chicago Bulls and how great they've been lately, but also confusingly not winning that much in spite of that, but now not so much because they just got another win, so that kind of counteracted the point of that video, but whatever. Figured I'd watch the Bulls, given that the last game they played was amazing, and I was expecting it to be a close game, and it did end up being a close game for stupid reasons, but for the most part, it felt like the Bulls would run away with a W versus the Miami Heat, because the Miami Heat aren't very good. And I think we're getting to a point where we have to wonder if it's even feasible for them to be good again. It's been well documented and understood that the Heat have not had the best of luck over the past couple of years, and I'm sure there's a lot of things that could have gone their way that didn't. So, all those excuses aside, I really just don't feel like this team's core is that of a team that will make the finals. I realized they literally came that Jimmy Butler shot away last year, but I also feel like that was as far as they were going to get, and that was their opportunity to make the finals, even then they were gonna lose anyway. So if we're talking about championship contention here, if the Heat played the Warriors in the finals, I feel like they would have got smacked, more so than the Celtics did even, because the Celtics didn't really get smacked until the second half of that. But anyways, I'm yammering on way too much. The Miami Heat probably not in a very good position right now. I would personally, if I was a Heat fan, be open to the idea at the very least of blowing up this team, and what that looks like is something I guess we can briefly discuss, but just not a good situation going on in Miami overall is the point. To talk about this game specifically, the offense Miami has going for it is really the thing that perplexes me, because defensively they still make sense. They can sometimes be lower defensive rating wise than you would like them to be or think they should be, but for the most part, you can trust the Miami Heat to bring a pretty good defensive performance because you have Bam Adebayo and Jimmy Butler and other guys who are solid enough defensively, and Eric Spoelstra is a great coach defensively and offensively, generally speaking. But offensively, I would say it doesn't feel like he's doing much right now, because when I look at Miami's offense, it feels like there's very minimal, if any, creativity to it. It's really just Jimmy Butler or Tyler Herro, or if Kyle Lowry's there, sometimes he's doing it taking the ball top of the key, trying to ISO, maybe to get the ball to Bam in the mid post. He likes to do some dribbles into a mid-range fadeaway a lot, or if he's faster than a big, sometimes he blows by them. But mid-post isolation for Bam. They do some stuff with shooters getting open off screens every once in a while for Max Struss, and whenever Duncan Robinson checks into the game here or there, Gabe Vincent plays like that. But for the most part, Miami's offense feels super simple, super predictable. And in this case, for the Chicago Bulls, who have been top 5 in defensive ratings since the turn of the calendar year, they made Miami's offense look rough. Their offense has always been difficult. I don't want to say difficult. In the half-court set, they've had troubles always to some degree. They've gone to the point where their half-court offense is still good in spite of some of the fit struggles from time to time. But overall, the Heat can put together a pretty good offense, especially come time for the playoffs with Jimmy Butler turning his game up, which is really the thing that gives you hope going into a playoff setting. That's what you bank on, because last year, I will say, people were pretty low on the Miami Heat going into it from what I remember, just because they kind of always are, even though if I'm not mistaken, they were higher seeded that year than previous, but I could be off on that. I'm realizing recently my memory on that kind of thing just sucks, and I'm getting years mixed up all the time. It really seems like the offense is very one note. You watch 5 minutes of Miami Heat offense and you'll know what the next 43 minutes of Miami Heat offense is going to look like. And the Bulls defense, which has been really good, was able to make them score 45 at halftime, which I realize isn't crazy low, but it puts them on pace for 90, which is certainly crazy low. I don't remember what the final score of this game was. Did they crack 100? I think they did. No, they got 99. Yeah, so the Bulls held them to 99 overall. So I guess really what it came down to for the Bulls in this game, the reason why the gap started to be closed, because they went up by 27 and eventually the Heat made it a 2-point game. I think the reason that happened was the Bulls started to slow down offensively and stop hitting ridiculous shots. I cannot mention this game without mentioning that Patrick Beverly scored 14 consecutive points, 4 3-pointers, and he got a drive on, I think it was Gabe Vincent or somebody, got the layup and then did the too little celebration. Back to back to back to back to back possessions, 14 points was ridiculous, man. Like, I could not believe what I was watching when that happened. So that was like a real anomaly that gave the Bulls a significant lead. Then Zach was hitting crazy threes. DeMar hit a 3, like, pull up with 30 seconds left at the end of the second because they were going for a 2-for-1, like, from deep. Definitely a good shooting night for the Bulls. But the Heat offense was so uncreative, and ultimately I think that hurt them more because 113 points is not a lot to score in an NBA game, and not a lot for the Bulls given how good their offense has been since the All-Star break, because they've been, I think, 5th in offensive rating over the last 10, something like that. That's what the last video was talking about, so I should remember that. So yeah. Point being, their offense lost them this game. And while I do think the Heat in a playoff setting against some top teams in the league could make it hard for those top teams to score, like I could see them slowing down Milwaukee because they've done that before. I could see them slowing down Philly. I could see them slowing down Boston, like them just being like a tough, gritty defensive matchup. But offensively, there's no way. There's just no way they're going to come to boot unless Jimmy Butler scores 30. Like, unless Jimmy scores 30 every night, you're not going to do well enough on the offensive end to overcome how good their scoring is going to be against you, because every other team's going to be able to score better. Every other team's going to persevere against good defense. If you're playing Philly, you're playing Boston. Both ways, you're playing a good defense. So the offense just isn't going to be there. And really, there's two options. There's two routes to go at this point. They can blow it up, or they can try to cash in Tyler Herro, the remaining draft picks, whatever you can, for some sort of star player. Who that player is, who knows? Maybe it's Trae Young, because he's like talked about to be the next guy on the move. I don't think it's Cat. I don't think that's really the solution. I don't know. But it'd have to be something like that. I don't think they can keep doing business as usual. And the thing is, like, normally in the past, I kind of hate talking shit about the Heat because Heat fans can be really rabid on the internet. But when I tweeted about the Heat sucking, I've never seen such a sad fan base in my replies. It is really unfortunate, but they were all like, yes, we agree, we do suck. It's terrible. It was rough, man. It reminded me of being a Bulls fan. But lately, not so bad, but still, in general, bad experience. So I have sympathy, I guess. But yeah, trade Jimmy Butler to a team that he can contend with in his last few years, or make a trade that makes it a real contender. One or the other. But yeah, that's it. Goodbye.